Voters of the 13th Norfolk District, which includes Needham, Dover, and part of Medfield, faced an array of choices. With Representative Denise Garlick retiring this year, several Needham candidates have stepped up to fill her seat. In the September 3rd state primary, voters will need to select one of the three Democratic candidates to compete with unenrolled candidate Bill Germany in November. Municipal producer Yu Xiaoyuan spoke with the three Democratic candidates, Patrick Gatto, Kenneth Runick, and Josh Tarski, to understand why they believe they deserve your vote.
With a 75-year-old family real estate business in downtown Needham and active involvement in multiple local organizations, Patrick Gatto sees himself as deeply connected to the community.
I've worked for Green Needham, Progressive Needham, Habitat for Humanities, Affordable Housing, Needham Opportunities, Inc., League of Women Voters, Rotary Club, and a bunch of others, and still know a bunch of those folks around town.
Patrick said political activism is in his DNA, inherited from his father, who worked on Raymond Flynn's mayoral campaign in Boston and Joe Kennedy II's congressional campaign. Patrick has an extensive political resume himself, having worked for Congresswoman Catherine Clark and a national consulting firm running campaigns for Fortune 50 companies. He also highlighted his advocacy for abortion rights with Narrow Pro-Choice America.
In the Trump years, to help flip the House blue on him to stem some of the more egregious work that was happening against reproductive freedom.
Patrick believes his experience equips him to navigate a complex political system and achieve tangible results.
One of the things that I bring to that is conflict resolution. I have a master's degree in conflict resolution from Creighton Law, and it's a lot about interpersonal dynamics and how to talk to people. And you've got to be able to understand strategy, be able to hold your gunpowder until when you need it, design a plan and get supporters and build coalitions. Being in those circles and being in those rooms and, doing that work, you learn sort of how to do it, right? You understand, who the players are, how you can accomplish your goals. You understand the strategy. You make mistakes through the years, right? And you learn from those mistakes. But I think, I have a good understanding of what it takes to navigate it.
Kenneth Runick, a 24-year-old 2018 Needham High School alumnus, does not see his age as a disadvantage in this race. He also spent 2 years at the Charles River School in Dover and holds a finance degree from UMass Dartmouth. Currently living with his parents in his childhood home, Runick said he can relate to the most pressing issues many constituents face.
The people who sort of look at it as a disadvantage, it's usually because they think that I can't relate to their life experiences. I'm not married, I don't have kids, I'm not sending them to Mitchell or Newman. And to that, I grew up in the school system. I feel confident knowing, where we could improve and knowing the strengths of Needham Public Schools. And then on top of that, I'm a community member just like everyone else. An interesting thing right now, obviously the sort of hot button issue is housing. And I'd say that affects me as a young person as well as the older residents of Needham. Young people can't move back after college. And so that's the big issue right now. And I think that it affects all age groups.
He also sees his flexible schedule as a strength.
I could be a full-time state rep. I'm not going to be choosing between attending piano recitals or making sure that I get to a soccer game or other sort of family-based events. I plan to sort of carry on Representative Garlick's legacy, which is being available 24/7. And, I think that most of the other candidates are aware that that's sort of the expectation. But obviously things can get in the way. And right now, this is my main focus.
Josh Tarski currently serves as the principal of a grade 6 to 12 public middle high school. His passion for education was sparked during his military service. After the September 11 terrorist attacks, Tarski joined the U.S. Army Special Forces shortly after graduating from Yale University. During his deployment in Afghanistan, he was tasked with building schools.
Specifically, girls' schools and vocational schools, because I thought those were the most immediate needs of the country. Mm-hmm. I fell in love with that, and I thought that was the real solution to ending the war, was to actually nation build through schools and laws.
After leaving active duty, Tusky advanced his expertise with a master's degree in education from Harvard University and became an English teacher in Lawrence. He also earned a law degree and served as attorney for the Massachusetts National Guard.
I was first legal services for the National Guard with Massachusetts, and then I became Trial Defense Services. I was the senior regional defense counsel where I represented soldiers who got in trouble. And then now I am currently with the 151 Regional Support Group where I advise commanders and try to support the unit through sound legal advice.
Tusky said his experiences in both education and law provide him with unique skills that make him a strong candidate.
I do have experience working with groups of diverse backgrounds, diverse interests, high-stakes situations, whether it's military missions that are challenging to accomplish, or trying to move schools forward. That is a challenging job. And I think a knowledge of the law is important if you want to be a lawmaker and a legislator. There's too few legislators with my background, both militarily and education. And I think you need people who have been in the weeds that can inform these discussions and guide them.
We'll explore each candidate's priorities and their perspectives on key issues next week. For Needham Channel News, I'm Yu Xiaoyuan.